It's your boy Double H. I'm in the hot seat, and this is Hope Meets Banter. Alright guys, let's start off with the first topic of the day. Tottenham against Man City. Now I'm going to pose to you two theories, questions, and I want each of you to answer them. First of all, have Man City pretty much won the league right now? Can any team pretty much stop them from scoring whenever they want to? And also, can we agree that Sissoko is a bona fide brick? So I'll start off with our host for today here, Mr. Ramon. So those two questions, hit me.
What's happening, guys? Yeah, for me, Man City have no, I can't say they wrapped it up.
No, don't say that, bro. Don't say it.
No. You started by saying that. You started by saying wrap. You can't say wrap and then you can't go back. So the wrapped up. You've wrapped the presents. You've wrapped the present.
You're putting the question towards
You've wrapped
me,
the present.
and I'm answering. I'm saying no, they have not wrapped it up.
Good.
However, boys.
Here we go, man.
for me, they've done what needed to be done. They've done the job over Arsenal. They've done the job pretty much of what they needed to against Liverpool at Anfield, taking a point. And against Spurs, again, they did the same thing, that they just outclassed them. Now, they beat Arsenal, what? 2-1, 2-0, 2-1. Liverpool 1-0, Spurs 1-0. It wasn't a demolition. It wasn't a...
Sorry, no, Liverpool.
Liverpool, Spurs 1-0. So there was no demolitions. There was not 4-5-0 at any of them.
But 3 points.
But they done what their job. Pep knew what he needed to do from each of those games. But if Mahrez put that ball in the back of the net, could have been. Could have, would have, should have. But he didn't know. Could have, would have. He's leaving it. He's leaving it for the Etihad. I don't know. He's leaving it for the Etihad.
And Sissoko, brick, bona fide brick.
Sissoko is a bona fide brick. The guy is trash.
Thank you.
For me, he's trash. I mean, Newcastle fans know it. Spurs fans know it. For me, I don't even understand how he starts games, even when Ali and Ericsson are not fit. Like, he's an athlete. He's an athlete at best.
He runs.
At best. He runs.
He's quick, strong, fast.
Bro,
fast.
France won the World Cup this year.
Yeah.
Without him being involved in the squad. And I felt, for me, as a France fan myself, I was so happy that he didn't get called up, because there was no need for him to be anywhere near.
And also remember, in the Euro final, Sissoko was the reason why Ede scored, because he was the one that actually lost his man. So he was actually at fault for that goal. So let me bring over to you, Matt. So City, is it wrapped up and Sissoko bona fide brick?
Let's get Sissoko out of the way. He's a brick. He is, bro. He's so dead. Let me say it again. Let me say it one more time. He's dead.
He's dead,
bro. And I know he's looking at me thinking, nah, he's all right. Let me tell you something from now. Sissoko is just a bona fide athlete. He could play in the NFL. Yeah. He could be in the NBA. It don't matter what.
No
Anything
technique.
Athletic, put him in there, he'll do a job. But when it comes to football, you need a footballing brain. You do. And he hasn't got it, in my opinion. Now, on to City, I'll say this. It scares me. Being a Liverpool fan, I'll be real with you. It scares me, because they're getting results where they need them. Yes, they didn't beat us, as you said, yeah. They got the 0-0. But against Arsenal, they beat them. They're looking comfortable in all the other games. No one looked like they can really trouble them. My only hope is that, obviously being a Liverpool fan, that we progress, get better, and can give them a challenge. Because I think if we win all our games against the smaller teams, which we sometimes struggle with, and we go against City at the Etihad, slim chance. Yeah, it's a slim chance. For me, they're still the favourites. But I think if anyone can topple them, it's us actually over Chelsea.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Drifts, City, wrapped up, and give me your take on Sissoko, because we all know that you have to have an alternative take because you're trying to be cool. But there you go.
He knows how hard it is for me to hold my tongue, so he's saying it till last. He said I did that. Like, trying to get me on fire from the beginning.
The floor is yours, bro.
All right. First of all, even though I will admit Sissoko's consistency and his performance levels are all over the place, normally at the wrong end of the scale. Yeah. You got 1 to 10, he's always pulling out 2s and 3s and 4s. I get that. But if we're talking about the ability of the man, not the consistency of the man, he's a good footballer. And I feel like people blur the two. People call him shit because his consistency is bad.
It's not about the consistency.
So are you telling me that he wasn't arguably one of the best players on the pitch in the Tottenham Man City game of the weekend? Is everyone going to sit here and talk shit and told me he wasn't arguably one of the best
No,
players
he
on the
worked.
pitch
He
in
worked
that
hard.
game.
He worked hard. And okay,
hard
is
doesn't
that
mean playing
no?
well.
Every
He
time
worked
he
hard,
got the
bro.
ball, Tottenham looked like they could have done something.
But
with
did they
his
do
drive.
anything? Because he
Because
can't
you know he's
play.
got no
Yeah,
talent.
but they're playing the best team
Did
in
you
the
see the
league.
opportunity
It wasn't
he
He
because
had one chance.
One chance, man.
Lamella's not a poor player. He missed the worst chance of the game.
Bro, let's not compare
So
the
we
two.
can't just all
But
of a sudden
Lamela
call-
has scored
Lamella's got
before.
a brain, fam.
Listen, all I'm saying is that I will put it more down to his work ethic and his consistency rather than his ability when people are trying to say Sissoko is shit. He's not a shit player. I watched enough of him in France and I saw enough of him at Newcastle in the early part before he lost the motivation to know that he has it in there somewhere. Somebody just needs to get it out of him.
He can't.
Now moving-
Everyone is trying.
Now-
They
now
can't.
moving-
They
no,
can't.
no,
They
moving-
can't.
no,
Okay,
moving-
City.
And another thing as well.
No, that's
He's
not-
an
that's not-
he's an easy target. You know, sometimes in football, there's people who are an easy target. Everyone goes, oh, so sometimes the guy ain't even done nothing wrong and people are just on his back. So leave him alone. Leave him the fuck alone.
Oh,
Anyway.
When you're
Oh,
dead,
oh,
the reason why you're easy target is because you're not good.
No.
When you're not good, you get
No.
picked on.
There you go. Like guys like us.
No,
Let's not forget.
Balotelli gets picked on and he isn't a bad player. Anyway.
This dude just compared Balotelli to Flippers.
No, I'm talking
Drifty,
about
that's
being
insane.
an easy target. People just
Balotelli and Sissoko should be the same
some
friend.
people
They shouldn't,
become
they really
easy
shouldn't.
targets,
They
and
shouldn't.
Sissoko's just
Drifty,
become
can
an
you- okay,
easy
City,
target.
have they had
Like
their laptop?
Mourinho. Mourinho's become an easy target. He didn't even do anything wrong, in my opinion,
but
in that
he-
Cardiff
but
game.
Moreno- but
And
Moreno-
like, everyone was just like, oh, it's Moreno, easy target.
No.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but
moving
Moreno
on.
is crap as well.
He is.
That's
Moreno
why
is
he
dead.
gets. That's why.
Moreno
Hold
is
on,
dead.
let me just
also
say. Let me
had
just say.
We
great
know he's
games,
dead.
and nobody says nothing because
We
he's
know
an
Moreno's
easy
dead,
target.
though.
No,
We
no,
know
it's
he's
not
dead.
because he's target. It's because he's dead. But because he's so dead, yeah, that he can't do anything right now. Like Karius,
he does
like
do
Karius,
right
like
stuff.
Karius.
Yeah.
No,
Karius.
no.
Wait, let
Karius
me
has
just
fallen off the
say.
cliff.
Let me just say.
He's like dead
Yeah,
in
but
the
Drifty,
rocks.
but let me say to you, if Karius came at Liverpool and had a great game, he will get slaughtered because of what he's done in the past, and he's too bad to come back. That's the same thing with
No, but
with
he-
Moreno and Sissoko. Put them in the
okay,
same
guys,
basket.
let's move on.
You
Okay,
can't come back from
no,
how
guys,
bad
guys,
they are.
guys.
Okay, okay, so City,
I
do they have a
I
laptop?
don't think that I can sit here as a Liverpool fan and give you a Man City are done. It's over. They
Well,
won the
you
league.
can just say it.
No, because I
If you
have.
believe it.
I have. No, because I have to have something inside me that believes that my team can do.
You don't have to.
No, I
Carry
do.
on.
No, I do.
You don't have to, but you can have.
But if you ask me to bet my house on who's winning the league, I don't want to be homeless. Therefore, I'm picking Man City.
So you wouldn't even
Conceding.
put your house.
I didn't concede. You know.
You wouldn't actually put your house on your own team, and you call yourself the main Liverpool fan. Any Liverpool fan that sees this dude on the street, slap him in the face. You wouldn't even put your house on
Bro, you
Liverpool.
see, did I concede and say they won it?
Okay. Look,
I didn't say they'd won it. I said if you asked me to bet my house on
I
it,
ain't betting my house on City. I said they maybe. I'm not betting my house on
well, I'll
them.
let you live with me for a little while. But after that, I don't know where you're
I
gonna live, bro.
chill with home. It's all good. These men have got me. Unlike you, fam. You pick City and stay there.
Okay, guys, let's move on.
You stay there, bro.
So now, massive news happened. Real Madrid got completely and totally circumcised against Barcelona. They got totally destroyed. It was an embarrassment. Don't laugh. That's actually what happened. So I don't know why you're laughing. So, but now,
I'm laughing because they got work.
so Julian Lopetegui finally he got sacked. So 14 games, he got given the sack. So now, do you feel that this happened too late? Do you think he was the wrong hiring? And with this whole Real Madrid F-up, who is to blame? Lopetegui, Perez, the Cristiano cell. Who are all the guys to blame? Let me start with you, Drifty.
I think it's just a big clusterfuck.
But if you had to put blame on one thing, one person, or is it every? All right, explain.
Because
expand.
You can't get rid of Ronaldo and not bring in a replacement, regardless who it is. Like it didn't have to be Mo or Eden or do you know what I mean? Or Mbappe or Neymar. It didn't even need to be one of those guys. There are a lot of superstar players in the world. Do you know what I mean? Real Madrid have such this thing of like, if he's not the best, we don't want him. That will be a downfall in the end. You know what I mean? Like, even if you just look at the numbers game, losing Ronaldo is like, even squad-wise, it was a big deal for them to have lost him and not
But very,
replace
very
him.
quickly, so is there an excuse for that same team without Cristiano to lose to Alaves and Levante?
No, it's not. But what I will say is, we all know that the way Lopetegui plays is very Barcelona-like. And there's a DNA at Real Madrid that's very direct. If he'd have gone to Barcelona, he could have been a success. Like if he'd have had the players, do you know what I mean? And the
They
DNA,
got the players,
the
they
Cruyff,
got
you know what I mean? The
the
Cruyff
players,
way and all that. Like,
yeah.
I think it could have worked. I just think he was a wrong fit. And they openly admitted about, 7 games into his tenure, he was the 4th choice on the list. I'm sorry. Imagine being in a job and somebody tells you that you were the 4th person they wanted to hire. At what point do you say, The fuck am I doing here?
Nah, it's Real Madrid though, bro.
You do have to have a bit of self-pride as well. You can't just get buoyed off like that.
It looks like he's from the road, man.
I feel like we can't condemn his ability as a manager, same way how they kind of hung Benitez out to dry. If it's not a right fit and the players are... Cause I actually heard, that some of the players deliberately wanted to get beaten in the El Clasico to speed up his sacking. Now, if that's true... And I wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't put it past some of those Real Madrid players.
Okay, so let me bring it to Ramon. So, who would you put the blame on for this whole thing? Lopetegui, Perez.
Perez has to take
the players.
Perez has to take a massive part of it. I agree with Drifty. I think the same thing. Lopetegui was under fire from day one. There's no way. Day one because you've left Spain, and for me, the way Spain were playing before the World Cup, they were coming in as underdogs. Definitely, the way he had them playing, they were balling in the qualifiers. But they were balling. They were going and for me, the World Cup, they're underdogs, and he's got them playing well. He knew the players from day one, and so I feel like people like the Ramoses and stuff would have loved that he's now bringing that into Real Madrid. However, when Ronaldo goes, and you said Perez doesn't bring anyone in, for me, you're struggling because I think the reason why you're struggling.
No, but let me say struggling. My lord, Asensio, Bale,
100%.
Flipping. Okay, not Benzema, but
put them all together. You're half the man Ronaldo is. Still, if that.
Ramon, is that an excuse to lose to Alaves and Levante? That's what I'm asking.
It's not. However, we are seeing Real Madrid without Ronaldo and seeing how they are. If Ronaldo wasn't there last season under Zidane, they would not be as good as they are now, anywhere near. And I think they maybe wanted Bale to take on the mantelpiece of Ronaldo because he's the only one. For me, Asensio and Isco are good and talented, but they're nowhere near Ronaldo's level. Anyone anywhere near who could have come close was Bale. But for me, Bale ain't got what Ronaldo... Obviously, there's no way he's got that right now. But he couldn't take on the mantelpiece. And so for me, Lopetegui's going in there. There's absolutely no way he was going to last the season for me. No way. Unless he did a madness and they were top of the league and cruising. But for me, without Ronaldo's goals, you've lost so much.
That's what I was going to say just before you move on to Matt. I feel like people like Bale and Asensio are as good as footballers as Ronaldo, but when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net, that's when nobody can. Ronaldo is putting the ball in the net that makes Ronaldo who he is. His actual ability as a footballer, Bale is comparable. Bale is a super footballer.
He's comparable.
It's just goals. It's like Ronaldo is just a goal scorer.
And consistency.
He just gets those goals.
So Ian, who do you put the blame on? If I had to just say one person that is the blame for this whole thing and why?
The thing is, it's kind of weird because you have to look at...
Pick one. I don't want any with your
but bro, you got to be honest, it's a bit of both. Let me say this.
A bit of both. Is this like
bread on toast? Hear me out. 60% Perez, 40% Levatelli, or Locatelli, whatever you could call him.
Maths, I wasn't good at maths. Don't use percentages. Talk football, man.
This guy, Alright, I'll give you a straight answer. It's Perez. The reason why I say that, Perez hired the coach. As you said, I don't think he should have got Locatelli. I think he was the wrong guy. It doesn't.
Okay, so who should he have hired then?
Personally,
Wenger.
At that time,
someone who plays. I can't think of a name, but someone that plays a bit more direct. The thing is, the way how Spain play is not how Real Madrid play. As you said, it's completely different. The set of players that they have are completely different as well. Remember, as you said, Real Madrid are used to playing direct football. They're not used to the Barcelona way of playing. And the reason why I have to go to say Perez as well is because Perez, as you said, the main reason Ronaldo left was because of him.
Yeah.
It was a personal feud.
No, because I mean, just sorry to cut you, but just quickly, because apparently from what I read, Cristiano was speaking to France Football and said that Perez treated him merely as a business asset.
Yes,
and that was it.
He wanted a new contract, 2 years ago. He wanted a new contract to be matched with Neymar and Messi, which I think was, I believe, 40 million euros after tax. He said, no, I'll offer you 20 or 25. Ronaldo was like, you're taking the piss. Look what I've done. I'm the record machine at Real Madrid.
You do have to look at age, though.
You do have to look at age. But you've also got a
33-year-old can't be on like 400 grand a week.
I understand that, but look at the success, bro. How many Champions Leagues have they won with Ronaldo? Is it 4 or 3? Four Champions Leagues, and this guy has been the spearhead of everyone. Yes, he didn't score in last year's
but
final.
every good thing comes to an end.
Yeah, bro. But what I'm trying to say, he deserved it though. It's Cristiano Ronaldo, and as much as people hate him or love him or whatever, bro, you cannot lie with statistics. He is a goal machine, as you said.
Yeah.
There's people out there that want to say like, oh, you know, Bale can match him. Yes, Bale has probably the same ability as Ronaldo,
but it's
up here though. This is what I said with Sissoko. It's about mentality. I don't think Bale. Mentality-wise, I don't think Bale can handle it. I don't think he can handle being the focus of Real Madrid. Tottenham's a different story. This is Real Madrid, arguably the biggest club in the world. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't think Bale can take on that mantle.
Okay, so
the one
I think he struggles.
The one thing I have to say with Lopetegui, he did make some strange decisions as well. I know when you go to Real Madrid, none of the signings are necessarily yours anyway. But you signed Thibaut Courtois. For me, is a much better goalkeeper than Navas. You put him in straight away. He wanted to dilly-dally, put Navas in for some of the league games, then change it to Courtois, then back to Navas.
Maybe that was out of loyalty, though.
No, but forget that. You ain't got time in Real Madrid. Choose your best players, put them on the pitch. Courtois is the best goalkeeper. You put him in. Bear in mind, he conceded 5 against Real Madrid and against Barcelona. But also, there was stuff he was doing, like, at the game that they lost in the league before the Champions League game. He had like Modric and Cruz on the bench, and he was playing like.
I remember.
Yeah, he was playing some.
Yeah,
Benzema was on the bench as well. He weren't playing the best team.
He was resting players
because of the Champions League in midweek. I'm like, but bro, these men know how to play 2 games in a week. They've done that.
Modric is getting old though.
He is, but you have to manage it. But for me, you ain't got time to be messing about. And it shows you La Liga without Ronaldo isn't easy as they thought. Do you know what I mean? When you had Ronaldo, you could do that. You could drop man and whatever. Ronaldo will bring you through. When you ain't got Ronaldo, your best players need to be on the pitch 90% of the time.
So I mean, basically, just to run this, I just think it's a case of where Perez, you picked the wrong man. Lopetegui actually doesn't really have any club experience. He did great for Spain in the under-21s and everything. But you're bringing in a guy, first of all, whose philosophy isn't the same kind of philosophy as these players, because the way he wants to play is very different from how these players play. And also, a guy with hard-hitting experience is crazy. And Cristiano, certainly one thing about him, he is clearly the highest goal scorer. Get somebody has a name. And the fact that you got to nobody to come in is crazy.
What made it worse is they brought in Mariano. Like
from
Mariano,
the road.
And he's from the road, bro. Mariano, I think he went on loan to Lyon last season and brought him back. You're telling me the Real Madrid fans are thinking we're going to get at least someone decent. They brought back a guy they had on loan. Yeah, but you're taking the mick. That's like us bringing back, that's like us selling, I don't know, Daniel Sturridge, but the replacement is we're bringing back Divock Origi.
It's crazy.
Like what?
And they gave him number 7.
I think Rome. Remember Real Madrid were chasing Aubameyang for a little while and it just never quite happened. I think if you're just trying to get a goal scorer, they were 6 months too late on Aubameyang. That would have been a great guy to just get the goals. He's not as good a player as Ronaldo, but he would have just got the goals. I
think they relied on Ronaldo staying. That was all it was. It wasn't like they did try, but in the end they just thought, Ronaldo's not leaving. He's going to leave. Where's he going to go?
Okay, let's move on. So, Mourinho. Jose, my boy, Uncle Mo, 2010 treble, by the way. There's a massive U-turn. Apparently, reports are saying that he's now going to be given 100 million to spend in January. So,
can you lot smell that bullshit?
That's no drift. So let me roll. Okay, wait. So let me roll with Mike now. So. Do you feel that this is the turning points for Man United in this season? That he's going to be given the money, he's going to get to the right players, and United are going to end up actually winning the Premier League again? And all of you people who insulted Uncle Mo will have to apologize to me, and he will prove why he is still the Don. Matthew.
Listen, as much as people want to believe in fairy tales, I don't think there is one in this case. Regardless,
what's anything about fairy tale?
Because it will be a fairy tale. Look at what's happened at Man United for the last year since Mourinho's been in charge. It has been turmoil from Man United standards. You're trying to tell me the board has suddenly just woke up and gone, actually, do you know what? We'll change our minds. Let's give him the money and everything will work out. No, because there's a bigger problem. It's to do with the board.
Have you spoken with the board?
Listen,
have you spoken with the board?
Yes, I've got an email actually.
Give me the number. Give the number, by the way. Cool. So I'll have to see the number.
We'll talk after this. I don't want to reveal too much information.
All right, cool.
But anyway, as I said before, the bigger problem, it's not even Mourinho. I think, as I said, it stems from the board because I feel like the board are very conflicted. Yes, we might, there could be things of, Mourinho, might get given the backing. I still do not think he's the right guy for the job. As we've gone and said, it's like Lopetegui. Sometimes things just don't fit. And I just think the way how Mourinho plays and what Man United expect is not what Man United needs. Does that make sense? I think they need a manager who's more expressive. They need, you see, like what's happening at Chelsea at the moment, where they've got what's my guy's name from Napoli? They got Sarri, yeah. Look how the culture's changing, the way how Chelsea are playing football. Whereas under Mourinho, it was obviously like how Man United played. Man United need more invention. They need something more than Mourinho. And I feel like do you know what it is? If I'm being honest, Man United needed Pep. That's the type of manager that they needed.
So very quickly before I move on, if let's say, argument's sake, he gets Lewandowski with the money that they're giving, do you still give United a chance?
What, to win the title?
Or I'm just asking a simple question. If he gets given the money for Lewandowski, how well do you think United can then do? Let's say they get Lewandowski with the money. They have enough money to fund a Lewandowski in January. How well do you think United can then do?
Lewandowski wouldn't go to Man United.
Lord in heaven! I'm creating a bloody scenario. Play along about.
I'm joking. I'm joking. All right. Here we go. Okay, all right. Lewandowski goes there. In my opinion, they still don't win the title. In my opinion, they finish 4th. That's just my opinion.
Ramon, so in Mourinho U-turn, do you think that this could be the turning point for United and what they need?
It's more than money, man. It's more than money. It's a mentality that they need. That
money makes the world go round.
It does. It does, but it's more than what Jose's money. How much money Jose had? 400 million, I think he's had so far. Yeah,
500.
500.
No. It's like, about 350, but it's a lot.
It's a lot of money so far, and he spent that money, and they're nowhere near the title. If anything, they're worse off than they were when LVG was there. So for me, and maybe that's due to Pep and the way Man City have gone, but disregarding, the aim of Man United is win the league. That's it. They brought in Jose Mourinho to win the league. When they brought in Jose Mourinho, Neeks and all the other Man United fans, yes, Jose's here, we're back, we're coming for the league. They may not have aiming for it for the first year, but by the third year, you're telling me that they're in 8th place in October and no winning chance for the league. I'm sorry, none of them will be having that.
You could bring in Lewandowski, you could bring in Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, you could bring in all of them.
Anyone.
You've talked
anyone. So 100 million for me, Jose's, if you give Jose 100 million, he might bring in 1 or 2 players to improve that squad, which he maybe should have got in the summer, because I don't understand why you didn't give it to him in the summer and you do give it to him in January. That doesn't make sense for me. But then you give him 100 mil, he will buy players that are 28, 29 years old, like Matic. He will do a job for a season or 2. But under Jose Mourinho's leadership, there's a level you have to be at. And if you're not there, then you don't really play well. And I think they brought in Zlatan. When they brought in Zlatan, Man United fans said, yeah, you know what, we've got an experienced player, he's going to help out the squad, push them on another level.
He's overrated, by the way.
Who's overrated?
Ibrahimovic.
Wow. Overrated?
Anyway,
for a different episode, relax, for a different episode.
But in a sense, it was successful to an extent with the fact that, you know, they brought him in, they got to 2nd place in the league. So in a sense, I know he was injured for a lot of the time, but he helped Man United a lot in that aspect. They let him go. They brought in Sanchez, and it's obviously not worked out how Jose planned it to work out. Lukaku hasn't worked out how they planned to work out. So
you're saying that you don't see a turnaround by the money being injected?
Not at all. And if you gave him
Lewandowski
for me is one of the best, if not the best striker in the world. If you look at him, look at his stats for the past 3 or 4 years, he's up there. I know he's playing in Bundesliga, but in Europe he does it as well.
Technically, he's top.
Yeah. So he will no doubt score goals for Manchester United until a certain point. Because Alexis Sanchez has come to Man United, and he wasn't great. He wasn't world class, but he was a great footballer. At Arsenal, he banged, especially when he played up front. He banged. We relied on Alexis Sanchez. So how can you go to Man United and score 2 goals since January? That is not Alexis Sanchez of Arsenal, Barca, or Udinese. That's another man. I don't know this guy. That's not the guy I know. So Lewandowski will go there and do a certain thing to a point, but if your leadership's playing a certain way, if you're telling man to be right, go 1-0 up and park the bus, Lewandowski ain't on that. You get me? He's on 3 or 4 goals in the game. He ain't on that. So I don't know how far you can go with that.
So Drift, lighten up the mood. Be positive here.
Bro, I'm the last person.
I'm tired of all this pessimist crap.
I'm the last person.
Wait, I'm optimistic,
Ramon,
bro.
you've talked.
I'm not a pessimist. I'm optimistic, bro.
Honesty.
You want this show to succeed with all this pessimism.
Hey, do you know how happy I am? Hey, do you know how happy I am that they're in this position? I'm so optimistic about this. Give Jose a 5-year deal.
Ramon, when you lighten up your screen, I'll go to you, brother. Drift, be optimistic.
All right.
Useless.
One thing that I'll tell you about Mourinho, regardless of how good he's been over the years, and he's been a superstar. As much as I hate him, you look at his career, you don't do what he's done unless you're a top manager. But along that way, he's always, and I'm not going to even, I don't know if this is a flaw to his management style or if this is like just coincidence, but he's always had a superstar that's done well for him in regards to what he needs. He had Schneider, arguably the best midfielder in the whole world when he did the treble. He had Drogba and Lampard, who used to do just the most ridiculous bailouts, even when Chelsea weren't playing well. And right now, even Deco, when he was at Porto, that guy, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And Benny McCarthy was just always that goal getter. Do you know what I mean? Bro. So you look at the situation at Man United, and I don't even necessarily think that it's anything to do with like Mourinho is like a worse manager and all that stuff. I just think at Man U right now, they don't have that guy. No one at Man U is that guy right now. And Mourinho, Pogba's not that guy.
What did
Pogba's not that guy.
Supposed to
wait, so
and I think quality-wise, he is.
So if they inject the money in, and let's say he gets 2 or 3 of the players that he wants, top-tier players.
Maybe, because someone like Lewandowski, in my opinion, could be that guy. Could become his Drogba, who could be that guy.
Which Lukaku ain't. He's dealing with a brick. Let's be real. He's dealing with a brick.
I'm torn between whether, like, I think Mourinho is definitely on the decline, and I definitely think he would never be the guy he was. But there's a part of me that's feeling like if somebody at Man United could become his Drogba, could become his Schneider, he could maybe, because Ramon made a good point. That's what Ibrahimovic was, and it got them second. Regardless of whether you think Ibrahimovic is over the hill or not, he was a goal-getter, and he was a clutch guy. There were games where Man U looked like they weren't going to win the game, and Ibra brought them through it. Yeah. Right now, they don't have that guy. And a lot of people forget, in Mourinho's success, he had those guys. So, like, I feel like maybe a Lewandowski could actually help him. But I think with regards to the overall thing, he's never really going to leave this Man United job and look like he was a success. Even if someone comes in and it makes him improve on what he's done, he's never going to leave and go, yep, at Man United, I came in and I did what I was meant to do.
But listen, so, he's got Lukaku, Sanchez, Martial and Rashford. You're telling me he needs another striker to help them get to another level? How many do you need?
Let me just round it off. Okay, let me just round this off. First of all, you've even mentioning Lukaku as an insult because the guy is a horrible brick. The fact that he's actually winning any games.
I disagree. Under Jose Mourinho.
We're rounding off, which means that you can't interrupt me right now. First of all, the fact that he's even doing well with a brick Lukaku is crazy. And the funny thing is that I'll remember this. On the decline, he's useless, he's crap. You've also said that Mourinho is crap. So when Mourinho now rises. No. Let me finish. Let me finish.
That's a fact.
Once he wins something big again, I want you to remember this. Thank you very much. Let's move to the final topic. Huge match, massive match. Arsenal against Liverpool.
Big.
Mr. Ramon here from Nick Sports, of course, the Arsenal supporter. So obviously you have the 2 Liverpool boys here. So my view on this is that I think this is a massive test for Arsenal because everybody has said that, great winning run. Who have you really played? And Liverpool, as good as they've been, I think Arsenal have the weaponry and the speed to really cause Liverpool some issues. So as good as they've been defensively, I think that the kind of weapons that Arsenal have will make it very interesting. So I still think that Liverpool are favourites for this game, even if like their defence has been playing better than their attack. But I do think that it is a good test for either side based on the strengths that both sides have shown. So. How are you feeling? Fearful? Do you think this could be your first L in a long term, or do you think you could potentially give Liverpool
it could be our first loss since August, no doubt about it. Liverpool I'm not gonna play them down. Liverpool fans love to get onto me anyway. I love to come for you, man. But I'm not gonna dishearten and say like they're not gonna beat us. They're not good enough to beat us. Definitely the quality that they have. I'll be stupid if I was to say they ain't good. There's no way they can beat us. Definitely where they can beat us. Arsenal. They're going into this game for me coming in as underdogs. Even at Emirates, they're coming in as underdogs into this game. Sure. No one believes Arsenal will get anything from this game. Paul Merson really come out and said if they'll get thumped at least by 3 goals, and we'll all look back and after all this talk of Arsenal, we got our Arsenal back, and it's all gone back to square one. Well, for me, we weren't beating the small teams last year. We were drawing, winning at a max. You know, we were losing these dumb games to Bournemouth and Swansea and Palace. And we weren't winning. We weren't getting anything from them. So for me, there's definitely an improvement under Emery, especially in the past 2 months. Even under Chelsea, even at the Chelsea game, I thought we showed heart in that game. So for me, if I look back to last year, we drew 3-3 at the Emirates. You didn't beat us at the Emirates as well. So they're coming to do something that they didn't do last year with that same squad. So and we've got better. Liverpool have got better. It's good.
So do you, if you're the manager, you're in the hot seat. Do you start with Lacazette on Aubameyang? You start with Lacazette, or you just start with Aubameyang, knowing how Liverpool defended and how they play, how do you think you will transition better to Lacazette, Aubameyang, just Aubameyang, or just Lacazette?
I would play them both. Because they're both good enough to be in our starting 11. For some reason, Aubameyang's doing bits from the bench. So if Aubameyang didn't start, I wouldn't be worried at all. Because I know if we go 1, even 2-0 down at half time, and Aubameyang's definitely coming on at 45 minutes if we're 2-0 down. But I know he's got something off the bench. And the guy's got, what, 22 goals and assists in 23 games since he's been at Arsenal. So I feel like Aubameyang will get something from that game, whether it's a goal or assist or anything. Lacazette has been on fire for the past 2 months. So there's no way I'm putting him on the bench. And for me, him coming off the bench doesn't do as much for Arsenal as Aubameyang.
So you're starting with Aubameyang, Lacazette.
100%.
Double weaponry drifting now. How are you feeling about this game, man? And also, don't do this reverse psychology crap. Just be real.
No, be real. Listen, whenever we play Arsenal, the only fear I have is my friends having something over me. I'll be real. Because I've got a lot of dickhead friends who support Arsenal. I love them, but they're dickheads.
We're not friends, but
so whenever we play Arsenal, there's always just that little part of me that's just like, it's the fear of giving them something. Because we've beaten Arsenal for God knows how many years in a row now. I know we had the draw at the Emirates, but before that, I think it's like 5 wins in a row, something like that. So we've just been holding Arsenal and giving them L's, you know what I mean? But they will win this one game and be like your little brother who goes to bed after he wins his first game of pro after 20 and like, no, I'm retiring, you're only as good as your last win, and then goes bed and you're left fuming after you beat this guy 18 times and he gets that one win. These Arsenal men are going to run them out and they win, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to matter, we've been owning them for all these years. So that's what worries me. If I look at the game as a standalone, put my friends to one side, put everything to one side, if Liverpool lose this game, I will be pissed. Because I've watched Arsenal struggle to keep Crystal Palace out. Watford, Everton, all these teams. I don't want to believe that my team can't put 4, 5, 6 goals past Arsenal in terms of like the
4,
ability.
5, 6 goals.
No, the ability. Me? Like if Crystal Palace could put 2 past Arsenal, Liverpool should be putting 4 past Arsenal. I'm just saying.
At the Emirates.
Listen, no, I'm not saying it should happen as in that it's a fact. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, if they can't keep Crystal Palace out twice, they shouldn't be able to keep us out 3 or 4 times. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But obviously, we have to be realistic and we have to think about the fact it is at the Emirates, which is big because I think at home Arsenal are a very good team. Regardless, they don't travel necessarily well, although that's even improved from last season. Because last season, they won 1 game and it was the last game of the season away from home. That was terrible. So I feel like this game kind of can swing either way, you know, if I'm being honest. And I'm not sitting on the fence. I genuinely think that this game can swing either way.
Do you start with Shaqiri or you keep him on the bench in this game specifically?
Do you know what? A little bit like what Ramon was saying about Aubameyang. I feel like Shaqiri can make an impact from the bench, but he can also play well if he starts. So if he's on the bench, at least I know we have a weapon. So it won't annoy me if he's on the bench.
So you don't start with Shaqiri?
No, I don't know. But
no. Just give me something. I don't do dilly-dally, man. Just give me something.
You
got to start him or deep on the bench.
If we go with Wijnaldum and we go with Fabinho and we go with Milner, I'll have absolutely no issue with that. Absolutely no issue with that. You've got a great holding player. You've got a workhorse in Milner, and you've got someone who never loses possession of the ball in Wijnaldum. And if you swap Fabinho and Henderson in terms of like what I'm saying, that midfield there always plays well against big teams because big teams can't handle the energy. Do you know what I mean? So as long as Fabinho can bring the energy, Henderson can. I don't know if Arsenal's midfield can cope with that energy. We have a lot of energy in midfield. If Shaqiri comes in, the creativity then comes. So then it's like, okay, we might open them up more. He won't bring as much defensive quality, but he'll open them up more and it might create space for the front. So I don't mind either way. I'm being honest with you. We're in a position right now where Klopp's at the luxury of go either way, bro. Whichever way you want to go.
Actually, you know what? I actually wanted an answer. He didn't give me an answer. But
here's my answer. I would keep Shaqiri on the bench.
Okay.
Be a little bit more pragmatic. See how the game's going, and if we need him, bring him on with half an hour.
So Matt, how do you see the game going?
It's going to be a tough game. It's at the Emirates, and we never really played well at the Emirates. If I'm being honest, over the years, that's not been one of our best grounds. But obviously, you take form into consideration. And I think even though Arsenal drew against Palace, I still think you're very dangerous at home because your home record is still very, very impressive. For us, we haven't been playing at our maximum all season. Well, not all season, obviously it's only been 10 games, but we haven't hit that height yet. So I'm not as confident as I would have been if this was last season because I think 10 games in, we might have been firing more goals or looked a bit more dangerous at least. but I'm still confident we'll win. And I think the reason is because we've done something a bit different this season. When we're not playing well, we can grind. The one problem with Klopp, as you've known over the years since Dortmund, it's like Liverpool and Dortmund back in the day had to almost play like the perfect game to win. Whereas now, I would say
they could get us 1-0.
Yeah, we can grind out a result. And even though I generally think you lot will score, I think we'll score 2. I've got this funny feeling that Mo Salah will score, and I think Mane will score. And I think Aubameyang will score for you lot. I don't know why. I can just see it now. And I think, go on.
So do you start with Shaqiri or you keep him on the bench for this game specifically?
For this game, I actually have him on the bench because, as Drifty said, I like the energy. So personally, I know Henderson's still out with an injury as well. I would go Fabinho, Wijnaldum, and Millie. And Millie for the 3. And then I'd have the normal 3 up front, Salah, Firmino, Mane. And Shaqiri on the bench. And if things do get a bit tough and things get a bit sticky, that's when you bring him on. Because I feel like if you bring on Shaqiri first and we've tried everything, it's going to be like, well, who do we bring off the bench? Obviously, still got Sturridge as well. But we might need that creativity. And I feel like if we keep it sturdy, which I think Liverpool have been doing recently.
It's away from home.
Yeah, we don't need to go gung-ho in the first 45 and blitz them. And that's been one of our Achilles heels. We'll always try to blitz teams in the first half. What happens is, it works well. We go 2-0 up, we get tired. Second half, they can't replicate it. The players get tired. People lose, positioning goes out of the way. People start making mistakes. So,
although but Arsenal have been notoriously slow starters, so Klopp might look at it and think, I'll start with Shaqiri, get the goals, then bring on a Millie or a Wijnaldum, and then be pragmatic and see the game out. So it could go either way. I said, I am not fussed either way.
I'm comfortable.
Klopp can go either way, and I'll be cool.
I think we'll still win though. I'm comfortable.
Well, look, basically, I'm rolling with a 2-2. I think I'm going to roll with it 2.
Draw.
Really? Okay.
So, guys, that is all this week for Hope Meets Banter. But before we go, condolences to the Leicester City chairman and all those who were on board of the horrible tragedy that happened during the helicopter crash. Our condolences to the families and all those that were involved from us here at Hope Meets Banter. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.